Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Board of Trustees. This is the committee of the whole meeting for tonight, Monday, May 21st. Let the record reflect it is 6:41. Can you take the roll, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Muhammad?
Here.
Trustee Stubbs?
Here.
Trustee House?
Here.
Trustee Denton?
Present.
Trustee Pearson?
Present.
Trustee Henyard?
Present.
Okay, all members of the board are here. We have a quorum. Let the record also reflect that we have our department heads here, along with the police, fire. Is there anyone? Yeah, police, fire, administration, public works. Okay, if you all stand for our pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you would remain standing, we'll have Mr. Creighton, Elder Creighton, lead us in prayer tonight.
Eternal God, our Father, we thank you and praise you for just another opportunity to see another day. Thank you for this meeting. Bless the mayor, trustees, department heads, clerk, and all that's charged to care for this great village of Dolton. We ask now, God, that this meeting would be done decent and in order. All things would reflect on you. We thank you for all you've done, all you're doing, and all that you're yet to do. And all God's people say.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. First thing on the agenda is general announcements. Madam Clerk.
I don't have any this evening, Mr. Mayor, but if any of the trustees have an announcement, or yourself, this would be the time to make that.
At this time, I would like to ask, there is a veterans event, so I want to ask Ms. Stephanie if she can come and share with the community.
Good evening, everybody, board, trustees, and thank you, Mr. House. My name is Stephanie Fletcher, and the reason I'm here is to bring an issue to light that is very close, near, and dear to my heart, and that is the, thank you, and that is basically the issue of military veterans. I've been here in Dolton for 18 years, and I've yet to see anything for veterans here in the village of Dolton, not a statue, not anything. The only time that we really only recognize veterans here is for the holidays, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Veterans Day. However, again, I actually have a couple of gentlemen here. I'm going to introduce them shortly to speak about a benefit that's going to be very good for veterans over the next 3 months. And, well, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring up Mr. Zachary Keene and also Mr. Dallas Gordon. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? I am National Service Officer Zachary King, supervisor of DAV in Chicago. Ms. Fletcher came to me. She's a DAV member, and she indicated to me that there's nothing out here in Dolton for veterans. Veterans is coming to the regional office, and their entitlements putting in entitlement claims, and they really don't know what they're actually doing. So I went and spoke to Ms. Fletcher and say, I will give you 3 months of orientation of how to actually ask for entitlements, as well as to, if they have their claim on appeals, about the RAMP program. RAMP is a Rapid Appeal Modernization Program, what the VA has just implemented. At one point in time, you was only have to be invited by the VA. Now it's invited to any veteran that have an active appeal, okay? We also give orientations at the regional office for DAV members to help them on their quest to ascertain entitlements, okay, for them and their family. So I'm available I know Ms. Fletcher wants a chapter in Dolton, and I told her, based on my schedule, I will assist her as much as I can. However, my schedule is tough. So most of the time I'm in Springfield, and we have a mobile service unit. And no, I don't go in a mobile service unit that goes throughout the state of Illinois. So DAV, Disabled American Veteran, is a non-profit organization. Ms. Fletcher and I discussed about not more or less having a chapter, but having like a veterans community type of center. That way veterans can get the info on how to start their claim process as well as appeals. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. The reason I'm here as a resident of Dolton and also supporting my brother from another mother, retired First Sergeant Zachary Keene. Many of you know I'm in workforce development, where we help people find jobs, and we have a lot of veterans that are out of work. The reason I'm in workforce development was I was out of work, and I had the pleasure and occasion to meet Mr. Keene, who was my first and original career coach. And we've been real thick on that. We've grown together. And so what I'm bringing to the table to assist with the veterans is all the tools to help them with their job search, and also connecting with training and training providers. There are the vocational rehab, et cetera, that will pay for them to learn new trades, to upgrade their skills, and also because of our experience together.
Get back with you to let you know the actual date when he's going to actually start. So, but again, and then we'll also have the locations. I'll make sure that we have flyers and everything available. So whenever you guys are ready to come on out and help support the veterans, please feel free to do so. Thank you.
I would just like to say one more thing. Members of part of my team, Mike Williams, stand up, and Bill. Okay. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
I have one announcement.
Okay.
I got one announcement. Okay.
Go ahead, Trustee.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out. I want to announce that the Honorable Dorothy Brown, Clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County, presents her Second Chance Adult and Juvenile Expungement Summit. It's going to be Saturday, June 2nd. Again, that date is Saturday, June 2nd at Kennedy King College, located at 6343 South Halsted. Again, Saturday, June 2nd at Kennedy King College at 6343 South Halsted. Please show up if you need help. Also, you can get your rap sheet or your criminal history by calling this number, 312-745-5570. Again, the number is 312-745-5570. And this will be on the desk if you need any information. Ed will post it as well. Thank you.
Mayor, I have an announcement.
Okay, go ahead, trustee.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I have a South Suburban newspaper. This is for Invest in Dolton. We wasn't afforded the same opportunity as everyone else to put it on Channel 4 and Channel 9, but the application, 99, and the application is located in the newspaper. We have some available if you would like one this evening, and also I would like to let you guys know that this was no cost to the village. Myself and other trustees, we pay for the paper to be distributed and the application to be placed in it. Thank you.
Okay, the first thing on the agenda order of business is presentation by JTS Towing. Ms. Cheryl Dockery.
No, so it's okay. You want to go second?
Good evening, Mayor,
Mm-hmm.
Madam Clerk, trustees.
Why don't you just raise that up a little bit, get a little
Mayor,
closer to it.
department heads, and village residents.
Oh,
Nope, don't want to stay. Better. Thank you. I want to thank you for allowing me to do a presentation on a proposal for towing and storage services. We are JTS Towing, and we're located in Dolton. As of a new law per the state of Illinois, which requires each law enforcement agency shall have more than one tow company in rotation. Dolton currently has one tow company in rotation at present. And as far as I know, they're not assisting in terms of bringing revenue to the town of Dolton. JTS is willing to do that. We have been in towing for over 30 years. Our skills and work ethics go above and beyond most. We are a full-time police tow company provider for the Phoenix, Illinois Department at current. We became certified in the Illinois Department of Transportation in Traffic Incident Management Safety. A course was taken by all of our employees with state and local law enforcement in IDOT, taught by the law enforcement and emergency agencies on how to handle traffic accident scenes safely. The state of Illinois requires all tow companies and its employees to be certified in order to tow for the police department. All of our drivers are correctly licensed. We perform random and bi-monthly drug tests. Background checks can and will be provided upon village requests for any and all employees. All drivers employed at JTS have their driver's license ran through our insurance companies as well to ensure we hire safe and responsible drivers. The Illinois state law requires tow truck operators to be licensed with a commercial license. We take safety very seriously. JTS is fully licensed and insured tow company with state-required insurance and licenses to tow privately owned vehicles. We provide a completely fenced impound tow yard equipped with 24-hour internet surveillance, accessible video cameras, electric gate opener, ADT security monitoring, with instant communication to the Dolton Police and completely lighted premises. One employee is on site 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Our office hours are Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, Saturday from 9 to 1. We're closed on Sundays, however, we're open 24 hours for police towing. Any impounded vehicles can be released anytime during normal operating business hours. Police towing is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Our vehicle fleet is equipped with, we have a medium duty, we have a 2004 Ford F-50 tow truck, we have a 2007 Chevy flatbed tow truck, we have a 2012 Ford flatbed tow truck, 2016 Ford 550 tow truck. We have a heavy-duty truck for semi-tractors and trailers. We have 3 tractors to tow semi-trailers only. We have a Lawndale trailer for work equipment, a 150-ton rotator heavy-duty tow truck for recovery tows. Our special recovery equipment also has 3 front-end loaders, one with a bucket, We have 2 forks for recovery or wrecked vehicles or hard-to-maneuver vehicles, objects. We have a bobcat. Snow removal equipment is also available to assist the village if it's ever needed. JTS also is equipped to tow boats, heavy equipment, and hard-to-move items. We can provide our service with ETAs of 5 to 10 minutes as we are in town. Guaranteed street and accident cleanup. We provide for the safety of village residents and its employees. Cars towed will be stored in a secured and insured impound. The current tow company for Dolton, it appears that there's been some problems in terms of ETA times. We've noticed that we've seen an hour, 30-minute wait times, which is unsafe for the town, for the police officers, and for the residents. 3-2, I do have some actual dates on here, which I did have a PowerPoint. But 3-2, we had one where I have the dispatcher, she needed 2 hooks. It was on the corner of Dante and 142nd. It took them over an hour to arrive, and they arrived with 1 hook. So they tied up the street along with the police officers who could be utilizing other areas within Dolton for the residents. We're willing to do $65 per tow as an administrative fee back to the village of Dolton for the residents and the village, as well as $25 tows for the residents within city limits. We're willing to assist if they need tires, batteries, anything like that that they're in need of. We're willing to donate those to the residents as well. As well as if the car is towed, you do get a discount on your storage rates. We will provide lockout kits and jumper packs to the police department for the officers to assist residents for quick response as needed. We currently provide the fire department of Dolton with cars that are necessary for training for their department or the TAC unit to use. We also will gladly help and aid and support any mayoral, police, fire department function, fundraisers. We consider it an honor to be able to help the village of Dolton and its residents.
You said mayoral?
Yes.
I'm just asking.
Yes, mayoral. I know back in 2012, from 2012 to 2015, Dolton's previous tow company gave back to the village of Dolton in the same fashion, and JTS is looking to do the same to help its residents. So we would like to be taken into consideration to be placed on the rotation list along with the current tow company. We would be proud to serve the village and the residents of Dolton as a police tow company provider. If given a fair chance, we can prove above and beyond expectation, as well as give revenue back to the village and its residents. And I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to present JTS to the village and its residents, and hope that we can, down the road, work together and be placed on the tow rotation list.
Okay, any comment from the board?
I just want to ask, do you have a written proposal of
I certainly do, yes,
information?
and I had given one to Mayor Riley back in March, but I do have a written proposal that I can give to you.
No comment from the board? Okay, thank you. Okay, next thing on the agenda is liquor licensing. Trustee Pearson.
Mayor, I'd like to pull that to the next, well, I'd like to pull it off the agenda.
Okay. All right, next thing is a handicap sign process. Mr. Thigpen.
Good evening, everybody. What I have up for discussion is the is the Village of Dolton for us to possibly go to a permit system for our handicapped residents for the signs that are placed in front of their property. Going by the synopsis, is to better help regulate the residential use of handicap signs within the village, implementation of a residential handicap permit number to be assigned with the residence and the registered vehicle. The fiscal impact would actually fall upon the resident. Right now, the Village of Dolton eats the cost of a handicap sign that's placed in front of the residents. Going based off of the ways the city of Chicago does it, as well as several other towns, they offer, I'm actually going to read the Chicago ordinance to you. Sign installation and maintenance costs must be paid by the applicant. For the first year, the cost of the sign is $70. Now what that does, that cost actually covers 2 signs to be placed a minimum 16 feet away that will give the resident enough space to actually park. One of the issues that we've had within the police department is that having one sign, we might get a resident that will park in front of the sign. Then you have the space that's for the handicapped person, and then another resident will come up and pull between them. Next thing you know, they can't get in at night, or the cars pull up too close and we get a phone call for the resident that can't actually get out of the parking spot. As well as the annual maintenance fee with the city of Chicago is actually $25. Now, as far as the village goes, with the cost, one of the recommendations, along with Matt Stacy, we did 2 different companies for the sign, and they're both averaging $65 per sign to be placed up. And as we go, we would need 2 signs. So that cost would actually have to be eaten by the resident that applies for the handicap parking permit.
Question for you. Currently, there's just 1 sign per applicant, right?
1 sign per applicant. However, before I took over the program, we do have some houses that have dual signs already.
Why would they have 2 as opposed to 1?
It could have been at the time with administration where they had complaints and 2 signs were actually placed. Right now, we're just seeing an increase in signs, and one suggestion was offered to actually paint the curb blue. But that's only good pretty much during the summertime, especially, in the winter, especially if you can see it. But in the wintertime, you can't see it. If we get a snowfall, you can't actually see if the curb is actually painted. All the surrounding communities use 2 signs with arrows pointing to actually designate that particular spot for the handicapped resident.
And our cost, that one-time cost, would be how much for the 2 signs?
One-time cost would be between the 2 companies an average of $130.
And that's a one-time cost?
That's the one-time cost. But I'm also recommending, due to the fact we've actually had a theft of several signs, I don't know if people are using them for man cave possibilities or anything, but we would also have to incorporate a maintenance fee. And that maintenance fee will be yearly. So when the people will come to re-register, they will have to pay that maintenance fee if they still utilize their handicap sign.
Currently, do they register yearly, or once they get their sign, that's it?
Once they get the sign, that's it.
So you're suggesting that we just do an annual re-up with that annual fee?
Yes.
So they're re-registering, so we'll know they're current?
So we will know they're current. Right now, we usually do, it was one performed in February, I'm sorry, what I like to call a handicap audit, where myself as one of the code enforcement officers would actually go out and we go door to door over the course of several days, because some people are not home at certain times, to actually see if a handicap sign is still being utilized. The last one that was done was actually on the 3rd of May, and we have a total of 71 signs at the residence that are up now within the Village of Dolton.
Now, the cost of the signs, you said around $125. That's just the cost of the signs, not the poles?
No, that's the sign and the pole with the marking.
Okay.
The cost for actually placing a permit number system, if we do go with a permit number system, that would fall upon the price included with Public Works to place the actual number sign. The village, we will have to implement a different type of form to where they will actually apply, along with the Secretary of State form that's also required, to actually have a permit placed in their vehicle, like another village sticker, kind of what we do for the village sticker as well as the landscaping sticker as well. That way, that particular car will go with that particular sign.
Okay. Any questions?
Did we ever take down the handicap signs?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Gotta get used to that. Did we ever take down the handicap signs that weren't being, we didn't know if the people lived there anymore? Or
Yeah.
I should say we knew they moved away?
Yes. It actually happens several ways. Once we do the audit, if someone says no, they're not using that sign, the person went in a nursing home or unfortunately passed away. And every once in a while, we'll get someone, an investor or a new homeowner, come in and say, there's a handicap sign in front of my house. How do I get it down? At that point in time, I usually notify Public Works, and they're pretty good about getting it out that day or the next day.
Okay.
So how do they go about filling out the paperwork to get a sign?
Okay, the current paperwork we use is a direct duplicate from the Secretary of State. They have to have that signed by their doctor.
Okay.
I don't actually have a form. I can get one, and we do have them in here. But what that does, it allows me to actually call the doctor's office without going into HIPAA law infractions and make the call to see if it was actually, if the doctor is. I've had doctors that don't exist anymore, fraudulent signs and stuff. So I call the medical center, see if that person is a patient. As far as they'll let me go, verify that they can't walk the 200 feet that's required.
Okay. Well, I brought this up a year ago to get signs placed in the village of Dolton because we did not have a number on it. And I gave examples of what Chicago had, and I like it to look like Chicago's with the number there. Therefore, people know that the handicapped person is supposed to be there. Because believe it or not, residents, we do have parking wars in the village of Dolton. Residents fight over parking spaces, over handicap spaces. And the problem is no number attached to the vehicle, so you don't know what vehicle should be in that parking space. So I am an advocate for this. I do want to move forward with purchasing a sign, and you said it's basically $125, $130 cost to the village, but we have to give it to the resident, correct?
That would solely be up to you guys. Most of the other towns, if they do charge, they do make the resident pay for it.
Okay.
Just mimicking City of Chicago, that's what they do.
Thank you.
I have a quick question for you.
Yes, trustee.
Good evening. The $130, does that include the little sticker that go inside of the window, or is that an extra fee?
No, that would include the sticker that goes inside the window.
Okay, thank you.
I have one more question.
Oh, okay.
I talked to a resident over the weekend who was bringing up the fact that his neighbor had a handicap sign and never parks a car there. And every time somebody parks there, he calls the police. But he never, ever puts his car there. His car is always in the driveway, or his car is always in the garage. And so when somebody else comes along and parks there, he calls the police. But if he's got one friend of his that he'll let park there. So when we give these, do we look at the driveway, garages, and see what parking facilities they already have, other than taking away the street?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes, we do. There's only been a couple circumstances where I've actually approved handicap parking for someone that actually has a driveway. I can't speak to what happened before I took over the program. But as far as handicap parking with the driveway, there has to be certain stipulations about the number of people who are in the property that are also handicapped and the dimensions of the actual driveway. Chances are, if you have a side-by-side driveway where two dual cars can fit, you will not get approved. If you're the only one in the property that is handicapped and you have a substantial driveway, you will not get approved. If we have an issue, there's a property on 143rd in Kenwood who has a dual sign that I'm sorry, not a dual sign, a sign on the street as well as a driveway. The father, the mother, and the daughter are all registered handicapped. But they have a single driveway where if you put two cars in it, it will breach the sidewalk, which is a village infraction. So they actually have one in front of the house as well.
So if we move forward with this program, everybody that currently has a sign would have to enroll in this program to get a new sign and a sticker.
That's also what I'm working on as far as doing any type of grandfather program, because if we move forward, we will be going to dual signs as well.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
But definitely with the program, as far as moving forward, the dual signs, the registration fee, which will be up for discussion with you guys, the re-registering, which I take would cut down on people not using the handicap spaces if the registration fee was definitely a higher rate.
And it probably would cut down on people applying for
that's correct.
Disabled signs.
Yep.
Parking wars too.
The parking wars.
Mayor, what's needed to move forward? Just a consensus?
Well, consensus, I would imagine. And how soon would you want to implement this program? I would suggest probably on a fiscal year term, from July to the following end of the month, June. That will allow for the replacement. That will allow for registration and Public Works to easily replace those signs, because during the winter time the ground's frozen and it's harder.
Same times the vehicle stickers.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
okay.
So in a fiscal year, it would be better to do it to try to get the signs in place, because all of those 71 signs, not all of them, but the majority of them would have to have additional signs. Remove the signs that are there, or modify them, because the signs we have now is kind of confusing, because it arrows point both ways.
It point both ways, if they even have the arrows as well.
Right. They point both ways, and people think, some of the residents think, once that sign is placed, they get to the end of the block, or they get that whole side of the street, where I'm not sure if the ordinance reflects that it should be 8 to 10 feet, I believe it is.
The ordinance reflects
in the middle of that sign
8 to 10, but now we have to go 16 by the Illinois state law. A minimum of 16 feet.
Minimum of 16 feet. Mm-hmm. Okay, but we can modify that if we wanted to, being home rule.
Yes, we can.
Okay. And there's an ordinance in place, isn't it, Mary Kay, in regards to distance? Okay. Yeah. All right.
The signs that are disappearing right now, are they aluminum or steel?
All aluminum.
And the signs that we're talking about purchasing, are they going to be aluminum or steel?
The posts are steel, the signs are aluminum.
Yeah, that I know.
It seems like most companies are going with the aluminum. The new signs we actually have a choice, which is only a difference of a couple dollars, to go with the standard sign versus the new reflective sign as well.
Yeah. Are the signs just being removed, or the whole pole?
The 2 incidents, the pole was actually just chopped off.
Yeah.
And the other 4 incidents, the sign, you can tell someone just used a quick sawzall and hit the bolts and took off with the sign.
Yeah. Okay. And sometimes there's some jealousy that's reflected when people have disabled signs, because they're actually granted 365 days a year, 24 hours a day to have that parking space available to them. So it angers some people. Okay. Can we get a consensus on?
I agree with moving forward with purchasing the 2 signs.
I agree with moving forward also.
I'm in favor also.
I'm in favor.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Thigpen.
Thank you. You guys have a good evening.
Next thing on the agenda is item 4, update invest in Dolton and PP Capital. Trustee Muhammad.
Mayor, if we could move that item to after item number 7. Our presenter is not here. His son, he had to take to emergency care, so he'll try to make it. If we can move that to the last item after
item 7, we're going to go in executive session for that.
So after item 6, if we can.
So, okay, we can move it after item 6. Next thing is item 5, update on cameras for recycling center.
Correction, Mayor. We got a correspondence that Attorney Murphy will not be here.
That's correct. So what's the issue on that?
Okay, we can just do a consensus vote in closed session.
Yes. Update on the cameras for recycling center. Trustee Stubbs.
Yes, after we discussed the cameras for the recycle center that is badly needed, because we spend so much money on hauling other people's trash away. We had talked about getting cameras, and Superintendent Stacy gave us several quotes. If the I don't know if all the trustees received copies of the quotes. Matt? Okay. Well, I was actually looking at Alarm Illinois, and they had offered several things. That's the one I was looking at. If the trustees want to chime in, and if they had an opportunity to look at it, they offer 5 cameras. They have Zooms. It costs just a tenth bit more, a couple of $100 more than the first one, Skynet. But I believe that that is a little better to go along with ARM Illinois.
Yes. Mayor, can I be recognized?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree that Alarm Illinois has the better proposal. They offer free lifetime on the remote tech support. They also have a warranties, a manufacturer 3-year warranty. I don't see any warranty offered on the other 2 at all. And it seems like Alarm Illinois was had more tech support and more warranties connected to their system, even though they were mid-price. But I agree with the 2210 proposal from Alarm Illinois.
I ordered our superintendent to close the recycle center. We have everything that's dumped there, from concrete to construction debris, which was costing us a lot of money to clean up by ordering dumpsters. I don't really think if we put up cameras there, I think it'd be a waste of money. If we put up cameras there, it's not going to stop them from dumping. I would suggest that anything that's recyclable and which can actually be identified by Public Works is that our residents take the recyclable material to Public Works, where they can put it in a bin there and it can actually be disposed of properly, which would eliminate the illegal dumping at the recycling center. After we closed it, there was still some debris that was dumped there that wasn't recyclable that we have to clean up. But if we can put it out to the residents that if they do have recyclable materials, they can come during the hours that Public Works is open. They can identify that those materials are actually recyclable, and it would save us a heck of a lot of money to then having to clean up. And then by placing cameras there, it does not actually give us the power, and correct me on this, Chief, to take enforcement action, because we would actually have to identify the people that actually dumped it, and we have to identify those license plates, which would take a great refined camera process to get to actually prosecute it. So you can chime in on that, Chief, if you like.
The only action we'd be able to take is if we can get an identity of the vehicle by running a license plate. However, we do have an ordinance in place where we can tow the car regardless of who the driver was that dumped the refuse.
Yeah. But I think all of that can be avoided by just having them take recyclable materials to the Public Works. Matt?
Mayor, also, we do have a sign up there when we close it that residents do come to Public Works. They're pulling up in the yard. They are stopping in the office. We are checking IDs to make sure they are Dolton residents that are bringing stuff in. And like the mayor said, the recycle bin is right around the corner. We got guys there for our seniors that need help getting stuff out of the cars or whatever. But we do check the IDs as they bring it in too.
Yeah. One of the biggest issue that I see with as far as recyclable materials are the old TVs. A lot of people now are going to the flat screens, and they still have those old TVs. I think as I drove here tonight, there's like 3 huge TVs outside the recyclable center there. But I think communication is part of this, to let the residents know that they can actually bring the stuff to Public Works.
Mayor, I wasn't aware that the recycle center was closed. I wish I had received an email or text because I wouldn't have put it on the agenda, because that solved the problem if it's closed.
Well, no, we didn't send an email out. I drove by there and it looked like somebody had dumped a semi-load of construction debris there. How many dumpsters was ordered to clean it up, Matt? Yeah, 6 or 7 dumpsters we had to get at $400 a piece to clean it out. So I just told them to clean it up and close it, and it stopped the problem right away. Okay, can I get any comment on that from the board? Are you okay with them taking it?
If it's closed, then that solves the problem with the cameras. We don't need any cameras if it's going to remain closed. And it's a sign up there letting the residents know that they can take it over to Public Works. Then that's great. And we don't have to incur that cost of a dumpster or dumpsters.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right, and just for your information, Representative Will Davis is having a community shred day and electronic recycling day on Saturday, June 16th at his district office at 1912 West 174th Street. Anybody wants some additional information, get one of these.
Mayor, a quick question on the recycling.
Go ahead.
Are we going to put that up on Channel 4 and Channel 99?
We can.
So that residents don't go there and find that it's closed and have to go somewhere else.
Right. We can.
Thank you.
Next thing on the agenda is the RFP, item 6, RFP for research to create a tax increment funding zone for, and it's owned by Trustee Henry.
Thank you. This go back 2 board meetings ago. We was talking about doing a TIF district for 300 West Sibley area. I reached out to 3 different companies, and we have 3 different proposals on our desk. I would like the board to review and pick a company so that we can finalize this at the next board meeting to approve the TIF. We have Tasca Associates, Kane and McKenna, and Elkers. So I'm looking for approval of one of these companies to do the TIF for 300 West Sibley. That's where I stand.
Now, according to what you have here, this is just a research to create it.
Yes.
So, in actuality, I'm not sure if anybody viewed this as yet, the proposals.
Yes, only one, which is McKenna, have given a quote because we used them in the past when we first started this about 2 years ago. I was informed by the attorney. That's the company we started with. And then these are the 2 latest ones. The Elkers and the Tasca are the 2 new companies. So
right now you're asking the board to research what you've provided.
Yes.
And in the next board meeting, you would put it on an agenda to try to get an approval for it?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody okay with that?
I'm okay with it.
Okay, I guess they are. Next thing, your person's not here yet, Trustee Muhammad?
No, if they haven't shown, and again, he had an emergency with his son, we can always move this to the next meeting to expedite this meeting.
Why don't we do that? Right now, we have one more item on the agenda, and that's the contract for Public Works, which we're going to do in executive session, but we'll have citizens address now. Anybody wanted to say anything in citizens address? We'd like to keep it to 3 minutes. Maybe we'll have a record-breaking time. We're getting out here tonight.
Well, since some things have been moved, it will probably not be that long. I just have a question regarding the recycle center. Will that be open on Saturdays for those that don't work or do work during the regular business hours?
Monday through Friday right now. If we need to get it open on a Saturday, we can do that.
So the hours are 9 to 5?
No, 7 to 3:30 p.m.
7 to 3:30.
We'll make some provisions for Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all I had, believe it or not.
Okay. Thank you. All right. I'd like. You're already on camera. Okay. Why don't you stand up, man? Stand up so we can.
Don't you get a warning about grass? Why do you get a ticket? And it's been raining every day.
Well, Mr. Thigpen just left. He just left.
Yeah, he just left because I just talked to him earlier today.
Okay, and then what did he say?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. We'll make sure that you can talk to him, so he will say something. Who do you want to talk to?
I want to talk. All y'all up there. Okay.
Okay.
Why is it that you get a $75 ticket and it's been raining every day? And I've been asking y'all about the tree that done fell next to me. And y'all ain't came out and looked at it since last year. You ain't even looked at it. Big tree.
Why don't we discuss that?
I tried. I came up here early today. Stop it.
Okay. We're not going to discuss your case openly like this, but I'll talk to you after the meeting.
That'll be fine.
Okay. All right. I ask that we adjourn momentarily to go into executive session. There will not be any further thing done at the board other than adjourn the meeting after we come out of executive session. I'd like to get a motion to go into executive session.
I'd like to make a motion that we could go into executive session.
Okay, so a motion to go into executive session and seconded. Roll call.
On the motion by Trustee Stubbs, second by Trustee Pearson to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing the Public Works contract with AFSCME. Trustee Muhammad.
Aye.
Trustee Stubbs.
Aye.
Trustee House.
Aye.
Trustee Denton. Aye. Trustee Pearson.
Aye.
Trustee Henry.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you all for coming tonight.